Welcome back. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk about these dogs in a way of just saying something kind of a little blunt, a little upfront, a little just the way that I've come to see it. Going on a run today really got me just thinking a lot about the lies. The biggest lie that I've really come to see and understand with dog training and what dog training represents for pretty much higher, I'm going to say. And this isn't 100% across the board, but just the mass majority. The biggest lie of dog training is give me your dog. I will train your dog and your dog will be good to go forever. Give me your dog and I will train your dog. And however your dog acts with me is going to act the same way with you because I have now trained the dog. The dog is good to go. So now I can pass off the torch. Here you go. Your dog is going to be able to shine, perform, and do everything that I've been able to get that dog to do. That is a 100% lie. And if you didn't know that, I hope to be able to share this so that more people are understanding that dogs aren't some I just can set a dial on it and it's going to be good to go. Dogs are something that only perform based on who the human behind that dog is willing and capable of being able to do. And this is the problem that I have really come to see and why a lot of people fail because I can take your dog and get it to do stuff. How this dog is with me, I'm going to slap a guarantee that she is not going to do the same thing with you. I have never used treats. I've never used anything. But the one thing that I've done with this dog is that you don't have behind you that I have is countless amounts of hours, hours and hours and hours of hours and hours and hours and hours of doing stuff with her. The rapport that's there that she trusts me because of how much I've done to get her through all of the issues that she's had. She's scared of this. I'm like, let's get past that. You're excited about this. Let's get past that. You want to go and do this. Let's go do this. And the countless amounts of hours is why she wants to listen to a single thing that I have to say. She may want to interact with you and mingle with you and say hi to you, but is trying to get her to come back to you, good luck. Trying to get her to stop doing anything, good luck, because you don't have that rapport. And that's the part that a lot of people are struggling with. And the manipulation starts to come in because someone can come in and say to you, I'm going to train your dog. And they can use a said treat regimen to get your dog to look away. And then they can make the treats to go away, them themselves. It's like, I fade the treats away. But what happens is once that dog goes to somebody new, you need to now get that new level of rapport. So everything that you started, you need to do again to make sure that that dog will do and perform the same way with that other person. So if that person started off with just giving the dog a treat every 15 seconds, the new person comes in and is going to have to start that dog off that exact same way. That's why at the end of the day, what you're paying for is more likely worthless because you have to do the same stuff anyways. So you might as well just start doing with your dog what you're capable of being able to do to be able to get the results that you're looking for. And not thinking that you're just going to send it off and it's just going to be good to go. Because here's the mass manipulation comes in is once that dog is trained and it's able to do and function and perform the way that it's performing, and the dog isn't doing as good, that the trainer can now say to you, well, you didn't keep up with what you're supposed to keep up with. But in reality, you are set up for absolute failure because you can't just take off, set off. Like if I got your dog being able to do walking a perfect heel, I started with treats, I fade the treats away, I added a little bit of pressure, and now I don't really need no pressure, and the dog just does it. Because I've seen this countless amount of times in my eyes that now I can't just pass that dog off to you. And now that dog is going to not challenge that leash, not challenge the treat, not challenge you. The dog is just going to do the exact same stuff. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And if it appears that way at first, it's going to appear that way, I'll say, for a little bit. But what starts to happen is the dog will slowly but surely start to slip back into what it used to do and what it used to be. It'll slowly start to just, what I'll say is start to give you that what appears to be disrespect on why you needed to get the training in the first place. The dog will start to disrespect because you do not have that rapport. The dog doesn't understand, oh, the treat, oh, the treat, oh, the pressure, oh, the pressure, oh, the this, oh, the this. The dog doesn't have any of that. The dog has that with the other person. And how easy is it for me to take any dog and make it look away, especially with using a lot of pressure on the dog or any pressure in reality. I don't care if it's a lot or not. The tiniest amount of pressure I can use on these dogs to get them to respond and look good fast. But that doesn't mean that they're good to go. It just means that they're good to go because of that amount of pressure that's being pushed on them in that moment with that person. But once they go back to that original person that has that dog, the dog is going to do wild stuff. That's why you need more pressure. You need more treats. You need more of this. You need more, because that's how the dog was learned and understood. And then once you're uncomfortable with doing certain things that a lot of people do behind closed doors, unfortunately, when they talk about being the greatest dog trainers, but behind closed doors, they do some savage things. and you're not willing to do that, the dog is not going to listen to you. The dog is going to go back to doing what the dog used to do. And of course, it's your fault. You didn't keep up with it. You didn't follow through with all the drills you needed to do. You didn't do all the obedience work every day. That's why your dog is slipping. So then it's put upon you as the failure. You failed, as opposed to you actually not getting the truth of what's going on, which is the biggest lie that's going on right now, where people are just wanting to collect money and wanting to do and say things just for fame and money. In reality, that's all that they're seeking. That's all that they're looking for. All they want is, let me get more so that I can supposedly help. But are you actually helping if the people are not getting the actual help in the end? Because some people, you're down and out so bad that you're hurting so much right now that a little change just sparks your, like, ooh, everything is great. That little bit, as opposed to things actually still aren't good. You still have an extreme amount of control that you have to put that dog in to be able to go anywhere. The biggest lies that are going on right now, that I could fix your dog and your dog's going to be good. If you just do my training plan right here, your dog's going to be good. That's why for me, I'm basically never, ever going to say to anybody how to officially, if you do everything that I do, your dog is going to be perfect. No, I do certain things. And if you're cool with that, that works for you. Everything that I talk about with these dogs, I'm very transparent, but also very just understanding of knowing that we are not the same. And our dogs are not the same. When I say don't touch the dog when the dog is excitable, if that's hard for you and it's impossible for you to do, figure out that next thing that's going to be able to work for you. But if I work your dog in that method, that I'm like, I only touch, only this, only that, and then now I give the dog back to you, and the dog looks like this, and you're like, I like how that looks. Like, man, how you get your dog to lay like that? Because I only give her information when she's doing what it is I'm looking for. If that's too hard for you to do, and I do this, and I get you your dog's going to do this for a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. And then what starts to happen is you're going to start to touch the dog at the wrong time. Now the dog is going to start to relearn back to what it used to do, and it's going to go ahead and do all of what it used to do. And of course, I can come in and say, that's where my manipulation comes. You didn't keep up with it. You didn't do this and this and this and this and this, but that's not you. That's not your lifestyle. What I naturally do inside of me. This is why for me, things are different, I noticed, with working with a lot of dogs, especially granted, not even the Border Collie. I'll give it. That dog, I don't know about other ones. I've worked a few of them, but mine is just, like I said, I don't care what I do to that dog. He's just like, whatever you want, master, I'll do whatever you want. So he's a little, I never put a leash on this dog, never did anything with this dog, but he listens to me. But all across the board, in reality, my animals are doing that for me. I just do stuff that is just natural to me, that it just comes out of me. I'm not even consciously thinking what I'm doing. I just do. I just move. I just touch the dog. I don't touch the dog. I ignore the dog. I feed the dog. I do stuff with the dog. I'm cooking, and I'm just like, I just feel like giving him a piece of chicken right now. And I just naturally do stuff, and my dogs just naturally start to just chill out and mellow out. And that's why for me, I've been trying to dissect myself by seeing what it is that I do, because there's a lot of people. I mean, just going to the park today, taking this girl, so she's going to be tired today. We went on a real good run for first one in a while. So we did a good 8-mile run today. And just sitting at the bench, just watching people with the dogs. There are so many nice dogs out here. So many people that are just flowing with their dogs and just ease of life living with their dogs. And there's one thing that I just constantly keep seeing that everyone keeps doing, which is nothingness, man. They have a dog, they have it on a leash, and they take it around. They don't have no treats in their pockets. They're not feeding the dogs. They're not giving them nothing with the collars. They're just walking and being with the dogs. That is, in reality, what it comes down to having the nicest dog. Just hang out with the dog and be with the dog. But if that's too hard for you, that's where I'm going to say, like, well, okay, then keep trying these methods and realize that where are you getting and what's happening with it? But the lies that start to happen is you start to get stuck in that because you start to go downhill. The more things that you keep trying, the more downhill you keep getting with your dog, because the more disrespect that you start giving to it, the more that you're going to keep needing more and more and more, as opposed to getting out of it and using less and less and less, just needing absolutely nothingness. And I purposely just have this dog here on leash at this moment, just because there's one specific person that's always like, oh, the dogs are agreeable off leash and they run around and they look good. But as soon as you put the dog on leash, that's when the real problems are going to start to happen. And I agree with that 100%. And that's why for me, I always put all my dogs on leashes to see what the heck they're going to do. And in reality, when I put a leash on all of my dogs, they just don't, I like my dog. I'm active, man. I be running, I be moving. But I don't really care for them to be laying and just hanging out and just have to stay there. as much as it looks pretty for a video. But for me, I like them moving. But I like to do it just to show the method of what I constantly keep doing with these dogs. That I'm not just saying something and then doing something else. I literally do this with this dog all day long, like all day. When not anymore now, because you see that in my videos she's running around doing what she's doing. But all I was doing this past months is just hanging out with her. I didn't even pet her out here. I didn't do anything. I would just be here. And then slowly but surely, this is just what she does. What I wanted in the beginning anyways, for her to just lay down and just hang out when I'm stopped, when I'm chilling. When I'm just standing, I'm talking, I'm sitting, I'm laying, I'm hanging out, I'm doing, this is what I wanted her to do. And now I can put a word to it and say, hey, good down. I like that. That's a pretty down. I like you laying down. And soon enough, y'all be able to say that word and she'll just lay down on her own will without me having to force it and dictate it and try to trick her and try to do anything. And because that's where the manipulation comes in, that I can do all these games, do all these tricks. But what starts to happen is the dog is not going to want to listen because of what's going on here. And or as soon as that dog goes to somebody else, now all that just disappears. And that's the part with me that why I literally quit working with people for a while. Because I was realizing that I got your dog looking good, but now when I gave the dog back to you, the dog is still acting a fool. It's acting a mess. And I realized that everything that I did from ground up with that dog, you also have to do ground up with that dog. And that's the part where it's tricky. It's very tricky because someone could take a dog and they can make it look good, make it look away. And someone could say that that person knows what they're doing because they know how to make all the dogs look good. But the real success is where that dog goes off to. How is that dog actually looking now? What is going on with that dog? That's why for me, I'm a 2, 3, sometimes 4 years out with I'm getting my referral calls today, 2, 3, 2 years out because I don't want it right away. I want you to work with your dog, work with your dog, work with your dog. And then your dog is to the point that it's looking like this. And then someone says, man, you got a nice look. How did you get that? Hey, call Mark up, man. That guy knows what the heck he's doing. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the real way to be able to know if what you're doing is actually working. Because the people are actually getting the results that they actually want. Not the, oh, I think it's okay, it might be fine, I got to still keep doing this, I got to still keep doing that. That's just silly madness, man. That's just silly madness. These dogs are so simple and so basic, but yet we think that we need to do all this extra stuff to them to get them to be able to perform for us. And that's the lies that I want to say. The more that you're doing with them, the more that you're going to have to keep doing with them, the more that you're just running into failure and failure into failure. Because a lot of people, they just don't talk about what's going on. Like they're normal, everyday, just hanging out. They put on the show, man. They put on the show. This is how it looks and this is how it is. And they cut it and they edit and they change it and they show it and putting on the show. I still just haven't seen I've seen one guy actually. But that dude's got, I'm not trying to hate on anybody what anything's doing, but he's on edge with all his dogs. He's got e-collars on all of them. He's got the remote all in his hand. I've only seen one video of one person just showing their dogs in a more than a 20-minute video with no cuts, no edits, just life, living, going on, just things just happening. Why people can't do that? Because they're not actually, they're not being transparent. They're being misleading. They're being manipulators. They're being liars because they're not able to show the realness. They can show the scene when things are going the way they want it, but then when they had a little mistake, it's like, let's cut that out to make it look like I'm able to just walk around town for hours and my dog is good to go. But there's one thing I'll guarantee you, my dogs and anyone that I work with and people that I work with to show what it is that I do with these dogs, because I put it's all on you. I'm not working with your dog. It's all on you. I'll teach you how to exercise the dog. I'll teach you how to work the dog. I'll show you what games to play with the dog. We'll figure out what the games the dog really likes to do. I'll show you the simple little things. It's all on you. You got to do it all. And they're able to take their dogs everywhere, anywhere with nothingness, with a leash and a collar. In most cases, we don't even need a leash and a collar anymore because the dogs are understanding what it is that we're looking for. But what happens is we're showing all this trickery. We got these games and this manipulation going on that they want to make it look a way, but it isn't that way. And they're trying to hide away all the mistakes, I'm going to say. And the mistakes are the part that the dog owner, you, are left to deal with. Where you're seeing like, I thought my dog was good to go, but he's still lunging at this dog. He's still pulling at that dog. He's still lunging at this person. He's still barking at that person. But the guy in the video was showing me with the dog that it wasn't doing any of that. Because the video showed you all of the good stages, the good steps, everything good with the dog. Not the times that the dog is acting like a hot fool. Not the times that the dog just didn't want to listen and come back at all. Not the times that a dog is just literally, How many times that your trainers have worked dogs that you put the treat, the dog will take it and he literally just spits it out. He looks at you like, I don't want that. Like, what are you doing right now? He just spits the thing out. It's like, they disrespecting me by giving me this stupid treat right now. I want to go and do that over there. How many times have you done that? But we're not explaining that that's what's going on behind closed doors when working with these dogs. That's why everybody always got something to say, but they got nothing to actually like show like a long term of what's going on here. No long term stuff. They always this in the first 30 days, this is how the dog looks. The dog is amazing. The dog is awesome. And this is how the dog's going to be. You tell me in 30 days you got the dog set up for a 15-year commitment now? That's just an absolute lie, a just straight up lie. And that's what we need to start to be able to pinpoint and be able to pick out and be able to understand what's going on here. And that's one of my biggest things that I just constantly keep seeing is people just straight up lying, man. Saying that you do my course, you do this, your dog's going to be good to go. It's just a straight up lie because they don't have the real anything of the results of showing that that is actually what's going on. Until they start to show that, then hey, we can pay attention to that. But that's not what anyone is doing. What people are doing is stitching things together to make it seem and perceive to be a way. Because what is it, man? Folks is just stuck on this. Man, there's some people that started on this YouTube I was watching. And I was like, hey, you're in it for the dog. But then I start to hear the message change. That you're in it now for the money. You're about how many dogs can I get? How much money can I get? How much? And that's not the way to go with this. You do not go into helping people and trying to get money from them. You go into it to help people. And the money comes because it comes. But you are here to help people and actually truly wanting and willing to help people and wanting to get people to get in a better place. That is my mission, my main mission since day one. I don't care to make money. I've worked so many dogs for nothing. Knowing that people don't like to pay attention to the nothingness, but when you start to see things happen, get better, especially when I'm walking into a house, the dogs are fighting, and you start to see things get better in a couple of weeks with paying nothing, they have no choice but to do that because they've been paying others and seeing it get worse. I don't care. I'm here to make sure that someone can get what they need. And my back end, I will get what's going to come to me. And that's not what we're doing out here. We're so worried about, I need to make this money so that I can, and I get it, we need to make a living. But if you got into dogs trying to make this living, get into it in a way of understanding how to properly do that and not manipulating and cheating people. And that's just what is constantly going on. Because the biggest lie is, I can train your dog and now your dog is good to go. Your dog is fixed. I cured your dog. Now you're going to be able to take your dog anywhere. And that's not true. That's not true. Because what always happens, I still haven't seen a dog that is just trained and done. What always happens is you start to have issues somewhere else and issues with other things. You start to have issues that you don't know what to deal with. Because for one, you didn't put the time in with the dog to be able to teach the dog that I know how to get you through these issues. You just expected someone to just get it through his problems and thinking that, oh, since he can walk good now, since he can sit good, since he can down good, he can do everything in the world good. And that's just not true. Your dog is going to run into situations that new things happen all the time. And if you don't know how to get that dog through that, the way that the said other person I was working with the dog was able to get him through that, you're at a loss at this moment. You could be looking really good and then instantly you could just lose trust instantly because your dog sees an inflatable balloon thing during the Halloween time and it gets scared and you see your dog do something weird or breaks command and you just start correcting it, punishing it, you start giving it a treat, you start doing something to it, and the dog is looking at you like, no, that's not how we get through our fears. Not how the other guy did it. It's not how the other girl did it. And when you come in and you start doing different stuff, now the dog is like, I don't know if I could pay attention to you. I thought you were a good leader, but you like freaked out with what was going on there. Now the dog, you're going downhill. Now you got to figure out how to bring that back up again. That's why everything day one, we should be figuring out how we work with our dogs with what we are able to keep up with for the remainder of the dog's life. You're not just going to, this is something I was just saying the other day about, what is there? I don't even know where that dog's at. Oreo, the border collie. Johnny's stuck over there. I don't hear anything. Oreo. Why y'all at the house? Y'all can come out. I don't know what y'all doing. They just sitting on the patio. Yeah, jump. You good. I was just saying about this boy, because we'll just try it now. Oreo, get down. We'll just do that right now. If I don't keep up with constantly telling him and putting him in his down state over and over and over, and not even 2 months when I stop doing that, he already will get up in like every minute or two. I didn't keep up with it. So if I didn't keep up with it, he's not going to be able to do it so great. So if you are a person that is not able to keep up with the whole routine of getting your dogs to do this and practicing it every single day, your dog is not going to be able, it's not going to do it. It's not going to be good to go. If you do not walk your dog every single day the same way that your dog was learned to train to be able to understand how to be able to loose leash walk or walk at a perfect heel with you every single day, and you just decide, I'm just going to take like, 3 or 4 month break, your dog is not going to perform. And if you aren't able to keep up with every little thing that's going on with that dog, you are not going to make it. Your dog is going to fail you. You need to be able to be the one that's going to be able to keep up with every little thing that's going on with that dog. And if you aren't capable, are not able to do that, you are failing your dog. And that's where the manipulation comes in. Oh, you didn't keep up with it. Yeah, you can't keep up with an impossible task. You can't keep up with things that aren't normal to you, that aren't natural to you. That's why for me, my main message is sit in silence and hang out with the dog, put the dog on leash, and you will be able to figure out what it is that you want to do with that dog. Instead of listening to the outside noise, the outside areas of saying, this is what you need to do, this is how you should be, this is how you should do things, where you already know what you need to do because you are only one that knows what you're able to keep up with. For me to keep up with what I keep up with my dogs, it's easy. It's zero work to me to do what I do with my dogs. Zero work. And that's why they're always going to keep getting better and better and better. I'm not putting any thought into, I need to train this, I need to this. No, when it's time to eat, we wait, we sit, and I get them to lay down, and then we eat our food. When we get out of the front door, not 100% of the time, but 95% of the time, we sit, we wait, we hang out. I don't care if you sit, but they always sit for some reason. We're going to wait. I'm opening the door, and then we're going to go out. We're not just bum rushing out. When we get out of the van, when we get in the van, every little thing, it's just normal to me. This is just what I do. I don't have to sit and think about it. I just do it. When the dog is jumping and going wild, I'm just not going to touch the dog. I'm just going to hang out. I'm just going to relax. When the dog is in the kitchen and she's hounding me when I'm sitting here trimming my meats down and getting my food ready, it's just normal for me to just, get out of here. And they back up, go back in the living room, and I'm like, I can see, he's so funny. They poke their head around the corner like looking in. I'm like, no, get out of here. It's it's natural to me. I don't like have to like write a list down to say this is what I need to do to be able to get my dog to be good. That's where dog training is failing most people, because they have a list of every little thing that they do. And then they do that with your dog, and then you do not keep up with that with the dog, and then the dog starts to lose it all. And then you're like, oh no. What's going on now? What's happening? And then you need that next layer of training, that next layer, and that next layer. And every single layer that you keep going, the worse and worse and worse that your dog is going to keep getting, because the worse that your relationship is getting with that dog at that moment. When the dog thought, hey, I thought I could trust you, I thought things were good, now you're starting to be unsure. And confusion with dogs is the number one way to make sure that that dog is going to do something crazy. You're getting into confusion because you're changing and trying different things all the time. It's something that, I'm just going to say something wild right now. But why, guys, men's hair grows better than women's hair. I just see this across the board. It's an interesting thing. You know why? Because dudes don't do nothing to it. They shampoo it with a 6-in-1 with a 6-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, and everything, and do nothing to it. Well, what are the ladies always doing? I got to put this new kind stuff in. I need this new stuff in. I got to do this new treatment to it. I got to always changing. But dudes do nothing, but yet it grows and it does amazing things. It's incredible to me. They do nothing. They put no makeup on. They do nothing, and their faces are, for the most part, very clear, very just nice looking. Dudes be looking young as heck, 55, 60 years old. But girls, you put all that makeup on and all the stuff, you're doing so much, and then by the time you're 30 years old, you look like you're 50. And that's why you need it more. You need it more. You need it more. There's so many things on this planet that seriously work that exact same way, that the more that you keep messing and fiddling and playing with it, the worse and worse that it keeps getting. Or you can go. Okay, you can get out of here. You can go. You just want to chill with me, you can chill with me, I don't care. But you can go. I appreciate that. You're looking really good. This petting stuff is getting there. We're getting there. But that is one thing I will say. I am consciously thinking about, Ophi. I don't want you chewing on that right now. Come here. Come here, girl. I see. The one thing I am consciously, because with my border collie, it's fun party play. I've always I don't care about him being like extreme and exciting. So now I am consciously thinking like, oh, let me not touch him when I see him acting like that, to try to curb that situation, to get him to get out of that. So that's hard. It's hard for me because I'm not used to that. And I'm going to stumble and fumble over and over because it's not what's natural to me. When I see that dude, we ready to go work, man. We ready to go get some stuff done. We're not here to just sit and hang out. We're here to get some stuff done. That's how my working animals are. We're here to get things done. We're here to make it happen. But this dog in specific, I'm working with the on and off switch on her. That when we on, let's go. But when we off, we're off duty. We're not doing anything. We're just gonna hang out. And that's normal to me. It's natural to me. So that's where we're stumbling and fumbling with these animals, because we're trying to do things to them that's not natural to you. It's not normal to you. It's not within you to be like. If someone comes to you and says, I'll say some things, but don't yell at your dog. But you may be a person that's how you effectively get some stuff done. And if someone says don't do that and you're trying not to do that, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. Straight up. It just is what it is. If you're a person that is just always never says no to anything, can never just be firm about, like even right there, when she's wanting to go chew on whatever, I don't even know what that is right there. That's some old mess right there. Johnny must have dug that up somewhere. But if you're not a person that's like, oh, just let her do whatever she wants, and not wanting to say no in a situation like that, that's going to be hard for you to say no if you're just cool with just letting them go and be. But for me, no, I don't want that. I'm telling you not to do that right now. And she's like, oh, okay, well, maybe later. And it doesn't hurt my feelings none. It doesn't make me like, oh my goodness, I'm being mean to my dog. I'm not being right to my dog. No, I'm not. I know that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not destroying my relationship with my dog by telling her that she can't do something. But this the biggest thing is, we got other people that think the only way to say no to the dog is to grab the leash and just yank the heck out of that leash and say no to that dog. And I've come to realize that I don't need to do that. I don't need to do any of that, because that's already what's natural to me. Unnatural to me was snapping that leash. I couldn't stand it. But someone would say to me, the only way you get your dog to be able to walk nice on a leash is by doing that. And I'm going to say no. You're going to do the way that you're capable of being able to keep up with and be consistent with. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, is what you are able to do over and over and over and over again, what you are capable of doing. If you are capable and cool with keeping your treat and giving it to them every 15 seconds, cool, amazing. That's awesome. Keep doing that for the remainder of the dog's life. Just stay at that. Just be cool, be happy, and just be all right with it. If you're a person that doesn't like that, then don't even start it that way, and start it the way that you are able to keep up with. That's the part that we're stumbling, because we got the experts that are selling lies to you, that are manipulating you, that are deceiving you to make you think that things look away, but it actually isn't that way. They just don't have any. This is the main thing, that the experts have the most sport dogs, the most trophies, the most awards in reality too. They have all that. Or they have the biggest presence of being on the YouTube even. It's just weird to me on how you're an expert because you got 500,000 followers on YouTube. That's strange to me, and how someone is considered that, when you can buy your way to the top with this stuff. And you can get sponsorships from people that just, you don't even know how big of a company behind the screen is actually going on. I was blown away watching the dude's video one day and realizing he's got 12 people on payroll right now behind the camera doing what he's doing to be able to get that video out. And that's not real life. That's absolute manipulation at the end of the day. But that person is considered an expert. And that expert is sitting there telling you something, and they're showing you all of the good moments and not the times that are struggling. The main key component to how to get anything good in life is to know how to get through the struggles, get through the problems. And when it looks good, that's easy. But when things start to get to a point where you're like, what do I do here now? Because I don't know what to do. Like right there, she takes off and she's looking at that chicken. And she's like, I'm going to go chew on that. And if you don't know what to do in that moment, you start to try to guess and wishy-wash and start to be confused. That's where you're failing, because you don't know what to do when the problems are actually happening. And that's where everyone is failing right now in life. Everyone across the board. Because when something stressful comes to you, you do not know how to handle it. You do not know how to get through it. You do not know how to get past it. You fumble it. You run away. You get scared. You fight. You try to battle. You try to argue. You try to bicker. Instead of just going head first and just saying, I need to work on this. I need to figure this out. And that's what's going on with a lot of y'all with these silly little dogs, is you're not consistent with saying, this is how I'm going to help you. This is how we're going to get through this. This is how we're going to get done with this. This is how we're going to be able to make it past here. Because the dogs find those patterns. They find it, and they know and they understand it. That's why for me, my dogs, I'm pretty sure everyone is the same way with this. They know when it's time to eat. They know when it's time to get out and go to the bathroom. They know the routine. They know everything that's going on. So when I change the routine up, the dogs kind of look at me and like, oh, what are we doing? We don't usually do this at this time. Why are we over here right now? So I have to be able to explain to them what it is that's going on. The dogs may want to eat right now, and I'm like, no, we're going to give it some time. And I need to be able to explain that to the dog, what it is that's going on in that time. So they're watching every little thing. They see the patterns. That's why for me, I don't want to keep no one's dog for just a few days because I don't want it to get to my patterns, my habits. What I do is what I do. What you do is not, I guarantee what I do. I guarantee it. What I do on a day-to-day, everyday basis. You do not do anything that I do, and I do not do anything that you do. That's why we cannot just sit here. I can't say to you, if you give the dog the treat like this and like this and like this, the dog's going to listen to you. But there is one thing that I can say. If you just simply put the dog on a leash and just hang out with the dog, something magical is going to happen. Something extremely magical. I'm telling you, something magical is going to happen. And that's the part with me of how I'm able to help people out. Being able to give them something they can actually keep up with. Something that they can rely upon. The dog is acting a fool, just put the leash on the dog and hang out. It's something that you can rely upon. Something that I know for a fact every single person can do. You may not know how to get the timing right with making sure he's sick. Get the timing right with making sure he's looking at something and making sure you give him the treat at the right time so he knows he's getting the treat for being with you as opposed to getting a treat for barking at the person. That stuff is so hard to do. But for a professional in it that does it every day, all day, that's easy. And they can make it look easy on a video. And you're trying it and you're getting nowhere. You're getting absolutely no. You're just confused as all heck can be and watching your dog get worse and worse and worse. But there's one thing that we can do. Is simply just grab the dog and put it on the leash and stop trying to use the leash to convince the dog of what to do and what not to do. As opposed to just hold the dog with you, to get the dog to be in sync, in tune, in just unison with you. So that when you speak, the dog listens. That's one thing that I just still don't see from majority of people, that they could just speak to the dog and the dog listens. Everyone's got to do all kinds of stuff. They got to shove their hands in the dog's face, got to do all kinds of stuff. You will never, ever, ever see me shove my hand in my dog's face to get it to move, to get it to do anything. I speak to the dog. And that's the way that just natural is on this planet. We don't need this extraness. But today, someone would say, I'm an egotistical, narcissistic, sociopathic fool because I want to be able to just have a dog to be able to listen to me when I speak. I don't want to have to give it a treat to get it to listen. I don't want to have to give it leash pressure, leash pops to get it to listen. That I just want the dog to be able to listen to me. And that's, maybe I am. Maybe I am. I do stand here and I make videos and I talk. I do look back at some of my videos and some of them I have to listen to my own self and just say, man, that guy up there talking is really explaining something to be able to help my own self out again. And maybe I am. Maybe I am that. And maybe I am trying to give false dreams and false hopes and false things to people. But there's one thing that I do know. When I collectively just go knock on people's doors, they call me and say, I need help with my dog. And they say what they are looking for from their dog, they must all be the same way then. When I get comments and I get emails, galore emails, people are looking for how to be able to get help with their dog. And they're trying to figure out, how do I get away from giving my dog corrections all the time? How do I get away from giving my dog treats all the time? I guess every single person has this huge, they're all just narcissists that just want our dogs to just listen to us without the need of all this extra foolishness. I guess that's the norm today. I guess it is in reality if you're a Bible believer. I guess so. But in reality, all we're doing is working in tune with nature. Working in tune with it. You give it what it needs and it wants to listen to you. When you don't give it what it needs, you got to do extra, try to force it to listen to you. So for me, I don't put the control to say you better and you have to. I say you will because you want to. So to me, that's a relationship that is the most loving, compassion, caring. A relationship where I don't need to get hostile to make you pay attention to me. I don't need to bribe you to make you listen to me. You just do because of what I already do for you and what I've done for you. Because of the rapport that we got with each other. Because of everything that we've gone through. All the struggles we've gone through. All the fun times we've gone through. All the problems that we've gone through. All the everything that we've gone through. We've been able to go through to be able to get to this point that we are here today. That now, I don't need to rely upon these things to get you to want to be able to be with me. You just want to because of who I am. That's something that we're getting away from in society today. We have to force everything to be there. As opposed to it wanting to be there. I mean, I know y'all watch the news. A lot of people watch the news, but just look at how people don't want to work anymore. Why? Because they are being controlled to the point that they're just like, you're not going to treat me like that. 50 years ago, people, oh my goodness, they were just all about, I want to go work because they felt wanted. They felt needed. But no longer we feel wanted, we feel needed. We feel just manipulated and controlled into a way of you better or else. And that's the unfortunate thing that most everything across the board of today is going towards. You better or else. As opposed to you better because this is just what we do. This is just what we do. She's going to lay here with me because she said, this is just, or I'll listen to you. Not because there's videos that I made. Lots of videos that not lots, but I think, three videos I made, 4 or 5, maybe 5 months ago now, with this dog, and trying to get her to do what she's doing right now, that I had to force it, that I was forcing it. She would pop up, I said, get down, pop up, get down. She was fighting back. She was giving me attitude. She was just giving me all this pushback because she didn't want to listen to me. But so I just said, scratch that. Let's have fun. Let's go do stuff. Let's live. Let's just be in existence together so that we could understand each other. We could learn each other. And then now, what does she do for me? She just lays down because she wants to. I don't need to tell her anymore. She just does it because she wants to. Because it's cool. There's no hostile things going on here. She's like, I'll just do this. But unfortunately, that's not what dog training represents anymore. It represents just extreme control, extreme control, extreme control, and again, more extreme control. And that forces that animal to have to control you back. And that's why you're in this back and forth fight all the time. You want to do something fun, and the dog's like, I don't want to do it. The dog wants to do something fun, and you're like, I don't want to do that. You're not working together in tune with each other. And when you're not working in tune with each other, you're battling and you're fighting. And you're fighting in a way that you're not going to win. The animal's going to win 100% of the time. 100%, the animal's going to win. And that's what I see today. The animals that are taking ownership and control of everything in the house. That's why they bark everything away. That's why they're growling at every single dog. That's why they're snapping at people and other dogs, because they've taken the control. They don't want to listen to you, your control anymore. They're out with their own control. And that's the most unfortunate thing that I'm just starting to witness, is the dogs don't want to listen to you because of what we're doing to the dogs. It's something that is just very, very unfortunate. That for me, I want to be able to work with, not against. And it's something that is obtained by, for one, trusting. 2, doing, getting up, making it happen. 3, giving the dog what the dog needs. The dog has needs. It's not just food. It's not just water. It's not just, shelter is not even a requirement in reality. They don't need just food and water. They need more from us. Especially, we're keeping them in we're keeping them locked down. Captive, I guess. I can't think of the longer one. But we're keeping them captive in our homes and stuck with us all the time. We got to give them their needs met. We give them their needs, and then they look at us like, oh, okay. And that's part of how to be able to get to a better place with them. And another huge thing is understanding, of realizing that it's a dog and it does dog stuff. And I can't get mad at the dog for doing dog stuff. So I just got to be able to guide the dog, show the dog what it is that I'm looking for. And the dog's going to just it's going to have no choice but to want to listen to you. And that's how you're going to be able to have what it is that you're looking for out of your dog in the end. Something that wants to be there and is not there because it's forced and has no choice to be there. Thank you. Hey, Ophie. You good? Come here. Ophie, you on my foot. You got your booty on my foot. You can go get that bone. She want that. And that's that part of, I'll say right there, is why she'll listen to me. Because I know what she's looking for based on just sitting, studying, and watching her. I know she's been sitting here ever since Johnny brought that over. She's like, hey, if you don't eat that whole thing, you gonna let me get a little piece of that? And she went to it, and I took her away from it. And then she said, okay, well, I'll wait. And then I could just say, just go get some. And every time that we do this give and take back and forth, is how she starts to realize, I'll listen to this guy. I'll do whatever this guy wants. Just because. Not because of force and manipulation or coercion or anything. Just simply because. She says, this is the best for me. He knows what's best for me. He gives me what's best for me. He provides me everything that's best for me. And she just relaxes and calms down. And that's the opposite of what majority of dog training does today. We're trying to convince the dogs to do something that they don't want to do for you, say even yet. that you need to build your rapport with that dog. You need to be able to get a better understanding with that dog. You need to be able to effectively communicate with that dog before you start asking it to do a single thing for you. And we want it so fast, and stop wanting it so fast. Give yourself 6 months to 12 months to really just understand your dog. And then we can start asking the dog to really dial in and start to do stuff. And they're just going to want to do it. They're like, okay, I'll do that. No problem. But when we come in and just try to force it right away, you're struggling right now. And I know a lot of people are struggling because we're taking information from people that are the experts that are telling you how to get it done. But yet they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it their own stuff. They don't know how to get it done, to be able to give it to someone else, to be able to replicate what it is that they have. I'm going to say the hardest part of being a dog trainer is getting someone else to replicate what you're able to do. That's the hardest part. If someone else isn't able to replicate it, why are you for business? That's why for me, everything is so simple, so basic, so easy. So a 5-year-old can make this happen. And the only way you're going to mess up with that is if you literally just don't do anything with the dog. Literally just like lock it in its crate, never take it out, never do anything with it. And if that's the case, my recommendation in households of that is get rid of the dog. Don't feel guilty about getting rid of the dog. Just get rid of the dog. The dog is literally better in a shelter than being in your house in a corner locked up 24/7. It never gets any interaction. Like seriously, at the end of the day, at least it's going to be able to be seen, and someone's more likely going to do something with it if you don't do anything with your dog. And if you don't do anything, just give up on the dog, please. Just don't do that, because that makes the dogs worse and worse. But in most cases, if you're willing to just put a leash on a dog and hang out with that dog, you're going to notice that your dog gets better with the less and less that you keep doing. The less and less. The more that you do, the more you're going to need. And that's what, unfortunately, most people in the worst case scenario right now with your dog, you're trying too much. You're doing too much. You're worried about, I need my dog to sit like this to be a good dog. Please. I need my dog to lay down like this to be a good dog. Please. I need my dog to be able to walk perfectly next to my side to be a good dog. None of that is facts. And until people just really understand that, you're not going to get literally any success. You're going to have things that look good here and there. But as far as the overall picture of things, that's what matters the most, the overall picture. I don't care how my dog looks, so I take her to the park and she can lay there and hanging out, and everyone's like, oh, that's a nice looking dog. Cool. I wanted that dog to do that same thing at home when I'm just hanging out here doing what I'm doing. That needs to be able to be an overall experience. Not because the collar is on, the leash is on, the e-collar is on, the treats are in my pocket, the dog listens. No, an overall experience. That's what dog training is lacking in right now, that I've come to realize. It can look good over there, but over there it's a hot mess.